Hello, everybody. Today, I'd like to discuss with you um the idea of what you think at what age it's appropriate to lose your virginity. Um, I feel like uh, it's a kind of a fashion thing nowadays that a lot of girls and boys feel sexual pressure from their schoolmates, feel sexual pressure from mass media, disinformation, which basically push them into starting having sex like really early at the age of 13, 14, 15, which is indeed very harmful for the growing systems, for your skeletal system, for your like immune system. Unfortunately, all that information is not discussed. It's not told to youngsters. They basically simply don't know the facts that are described in in spiritual literature about sexual energy. Um, I was I experienced that sexual pressure myself at the age of 17, 18 when I was in high school. Uh, it was kind of painful experience to go through because like having your first sex is part of growing up, and it at that age it feels as if it is a privilege. Once you start having sex, you are entering into the circle of the privileged ones who have become adults finally by engaging into sexual activity. And it doesn't really matter at that time uh, if it was by love or if it was just for the sake of having first sex. But scriptures describe uh, information regarding that first sexual experience as follows. They say that the first man in woman's life gives her his so-called inscript, and his DNA stays inside woman's body forever, and it gives her like the imprint for who her future kids are going to look like, and whose DNA they're going to carry. And that information is not told to us, and we all don't know about that, which I think is punishable. I think that people who are pushing youngsters into engaging into sexual activity without knowing that information are supposed to be punished, and even taken to jail. Youngsters subculture exists on its own, and especially in the United States of America, it is okay not to listen to your parents and to know everything by your own experience. I feel that it eventually it creates psychic wounds for young boys and girls who need support at that very special time of their growing up. We all came through that, me including, when we were growing up and we were reading magazines and pop stars were singing about first love, first sex, engaging into first sex, and we are at some point we suffer that we don't have boyfriend or girlfriend yet. Nevertheless, we are still too young for that. Maybe we need more time to grow up. We need more time to know ourselves better. We need more time to realize who we are and what we want from that life. But instead, mass media is pushing us into starting our sexual life early, and if love is not involved into that act, it can leave, especially girls, it can leave them wounded. It can leave them with the feeling of even more unworthiness. It can leave them with the feeling of, right now I'm dirty, I didn't feel any tenderness, I didn't feel what I wanted to feel. I didn't experience what I wanted to experience from that act of first sex. I think it's very important topic. I'm trying to find words to match, to describe what I have experienced and how long it took me to heal from the wounds I have created for myself by engaging into sexual intercourse just for the sake of being like everybody else, just for the sake of being adult, just for the sake of entering the circle of chosen ones who have already had sex in their life. Right now, when I'm analyzing it, like right now I'm 33, when I'm analyzing how it was and why it happened that way, I think that I didn't have support from adults. I didn't have support from elders. I didn't have support from school, and that's what most of the youngsters experience right now. They have no navigation in the sexual sphere, and all they have to do is just to follow what mass media teaches, to follow what stupid magazines, what pop stars are singing. But what we are not realizing, what they don't realize, is that everything that mass media shows us regarding sex is meant to take away power from us, because sexual energy is one of the most powerful energies ever existed on the planet, and it's meant to give birth to a new life. And once you start, why it is happening, why we are pushed to start sexual life as early as possible, and the answer is nobody wants us to be strong. Nobody wants us to be whole. And nobody wants us to be following our heart, because that person is dangerous. He is not going to follow what mass media is teaching. He is not going to just spend money sporadically to fill the void within. He is not going to listen to the crowd and to follow the crowd easily, because that person is whole. The person is authentic. The person knows what he wants, and he's not buying the tricks which mass media are going to pick up us on. I apologize for my English. English is not my first language. I'm trying to express my thoughts as clear as possible. I'm making that video to support all youngsters who are suffering the pressure, the sexual pressure from their friends, the sexual pressure from mass media. I was there, a lot of people were there, and just if you just listen to me and pause for a moment and think why you are going to engage into the sexual intercourse with the person you don't fall in love with, why you're going to do that to yourself, it's only going to bring you suffering, some bitterness. it's going to take away some pieces of you, some fragments of your soul. You don't want that to happen. You want to be whole, and you want to experience life in its full spectrum. You want to experience love in its full spectrum. And in order for that to happen, you have to start listening to your heart. You have to start listening to your inner voice instead of what mass media is showing you and all your friends are telling you. Just listen to me. It's okay to be virgin if you are 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, till the age you find your true love. That's the way to live. That's the normal way to live. You don't have to engage into sex just to be like everybody else. You don't have to engage into sexual intercourse just to feel adult. You are going to be adult anyway, and somebody special is meant there for you. You just have to be patient. You just have to, instead of trying to find a boyfriend or a girlfriend you don't actually need, instead just try to find some food for thought, literature, activities, hobbies, engage more into sport, engage more into studying relationship patterns, and visualize what kind of relationships you would like to attract, what kind of partner you would like to be with. You can list all the qualities you would like to see in your partner. And once you do that, the universe is going to pick up on it, and it's going to manifest that special someone into your life. So you're going to be proud of your choice instead of feeling regrets. And it's more for girls than for guys, but I think that guys can also be very vulnerable. They just they feel that pressure from society, from mass media, that teaches that man is supposed to have sex with many women, which basically only make him ill. As a medical student, I can testify that if you start having sex earlier, you are more likely to be impotent earlier in your life. So what is meant for your loved wife or your loved partner, if you are spending that on just any other women, so your special one is not going to have enough. Just keep that in mind. And as for girls, please, lovely ladies, you are like flowers, you are goddesses. You are not supposed to engage into sex just to prove your like schoolmates or college mates or your classmates that you are like everybody else. Have strength within you to stand against that stereotyping. Have strength within you to raise above the influence of what mass media is showing us. And I feel that all women have the power to change the world around us and to change guys, because once you don't let the guy touch your body right away, he is going to be more and more attached to your inner qualities, and he may see how vulnerable you are, what are your inner qualities, and he may eventually fall in love with that, and you may experience love in full spectrum. That's the key to building healthy, long-lasting, loving relationships. And I wish everybody who is watching that video, to find true love, to experience love in its full spectrum, and never follow the agenda of stupid mass media about starting sex just for the sake of being like everybody else. I love you. I wish you love. I wish you all the best. I wish you finding your true self.